What's up, y'all? How you doing? Chef B here. Hope everyone is doing well today. I am here for Meal Prep Magic, and I want to talk to you today about the dishes that we are going to work on. We're going to be making a frittata today, but we're using chickpea flour or basin, and then we're also going to do a ratatouille. And the ratatouille can be served with all kind of things: pasta, bread. You can eat it just the way it is, the whole nine. So let's talk a little bit about the haul. As always, I like to spend, and I do spend, less than 20 bucks. This is the haul, right? This is the haul. So let's talk a little bit about what we got. So actually, I went to an Indian grocery store today. And the Indian grocery store, you're going to find, whenever you do cultural specialty produce stores, you're going to find the thing unique to that particular culture. So if they don't use a particular item a lot, then you're probably not going to find that too much. So this was actually spinach. There was some fresh spinach. It was in a bag, but I also wanted to get this. This is frozen spinach. It looked a little bit different. They were in little cubes. We'll show you what it looks like. Also, you find a lot of peas in Indian cuisine. So we basically got some frozen peas because they didn't have fresh. Cilantro. We also got some asparagus. Now, I did have to go to another store to purchase two items, i.e. the asparagus and the zucchini. But everything else we were able to get there. We also got some green onions. We got tomatoes. We got an onion, and then we got peppers. All right, so that's what I'm going to be using today to make my frittata, and then also my my ratatouille. Okay. All right, so here's what I want to do first. I want to get this frittata into the oven as soon as possible. So what we're gonna do is we're going to mix up our mixture, and we're going to get this into the oven as soon as possible. All right, so here's the deal. I'm going to use about 1.5 cups. I'm going to use 1.5 cups of this mixture. I'm actually going to do everything right in here. Keep it real simple. So we're going to use 1 cup. This is about 1 cup. And then 1/2. This is chickpea flour, chana dal. All right. I usually cannot find this in a market, like a grocery store. I usually have to go to a specialty market to find this. So this is what it looks like. It's called basin. And there are different kinds of basin. But notice this says chana dal. So that's the one that we're using today. So I'm going to add in a cup of water. Okay. And then I'm going to give this a good stir. Okay. I'm going to give this a good stir. Okay. Because we want this to be mixed really, really well. So this is a 2nd cup of water. And so with basin, you'll find this in a lot of Indian cuisine. I'm actually gonna use this. This is my nice little whisk. Really get in there and get it hooked. All right. So I'm gonna also add in some other ingredients in here. This is looking really good now. That 2nd glass of cup of water really worked. So I'm gonna add in 2 pinches of salt, like this. So this is a frittata. Remember, this is replacing eggs. That's what the chickpea flour does. Helps to replace eggs. Look at that. It's looking really good. And then the next thing I'm gonna add in here, I'm gonna add in some of my mushroom seasoning. So I'm gonna add in maybe about a teaspoon. That's gonna give it some really nice flavor. And then I'm going to push this off to the side. Let me just check it to make sure that it's okay. It needs a little bit more love. Well, guys, I'm being very transparent with you on how I cook. I don't always measure. I'm being honest. I don't always do that. I go with how I feel in the moment. Okay. So let me tell you why I did what I did, why I added more stuff. It tastes like chickpeas. It tastes like the actual dal. And what we want to do is we want to cut that. Making this frittata. Oh, that's a lot better. I love that. All right, so this is the mixture. All I used was water, and I used this. This is called besan. It's called chickpea flour, but in the Indian culture, they call it besan. They use this in a lot of different things. It's gluten-free. It's non-GMO, as you can see. It's really, I spent like $3 for this. I'm gonna put that off to the side. That's ready to go in the oven. And then what I wanna do is I'm gonna build what's gonna go inside the frittata. So I have some asparagus. So let's cut that up. Got some asparagus. Because what happens with asparagus, the ends are a little bit like they're a little hard, like wood. So it has a natural breaking point, and that's where I usually stop. And then I throw this in the garbage, or really in the compost. We're also going to use half of a zucchini because today we're making 2 dishes. We're doing a ratatouille. So I'm cutting up these veggies. So what's gonna go in this frittata? We're gonna saute up these veggies, right? And we're going to kind of gently cook them, not cook them, because I'm gonna I preheated an oven, and all I have to do is put this in, and we'll be ready to go. Okay. So these are all cut up. This is nice and hot. Add a little bit of oil to the pan, just a little bit. So I'm gonna add this to the pan. So just as a quick reminder here, what I added to the pan, I added peppers. I can show you. We added peppers, we added eggplant, we added onions, asparagus, and then we're just gonna let this kind of wilt a little bit. Add in a little bit of salt. Where's my salt? I just had my salt. Here we go. Gonna add in the salt like this. All right. So what I'm gonna also do now here is I'm gonna add in some aromatics. And some of the aromatics are things like the coconut aminos. I'm also gonna add in a little bit of those mushroom seasonings that I like to use. It just gives it another little pow, flavor-wise. But this is already looking beautiful. Okay, take a look. Look at that. Beautiful. I'm gonna get the tomato and I'm gonna slice the tomato into circles. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put this on top of our frittata, and this will cook with the frittata. And we're also gonna add in a little bit of cilantro to this. We're adding a little cilantro. Okay. I'm gonna rinse this off again because it has a little sandy feeling to it. Okay. And then I'm gonna add this to the pan. Okay. So that's in. So once the cilantro wilts, I'm gonna pull all of this out. And then we're going to put it in the pan and we're going to bake it off. All right, so I want to show you what this looks like. Y'all see this? That's what it looks like. Those are the veggies. So this is our egg mix, our frittata mix, our basin. I'm gonna add in these veggies. I'm gonna actually mix this up a little bit so you can see what it's looking like. And then we're gonna bake this.
How much basin and water do you use
I
to get
used
to
a
the?
cup and a half of basin, and then I did 2 cups of water.
Okay.
So enough to make it, stay thick, not loose, but then also to, uh, be nice and thick. So this is like a little omelet. This is like a little omelet, a vegan omelet. So then I'm gonna add a little bit of dill to the top, like that. And then I'm gonna add in a little bit of, just a pinch of salt. And then bam. Do you see this? Easy. That's gonna go in the oven for about 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes, okay? Then what we're gonna do, I'm gonna actually heat my pan back up. The next thing we're gonna make is we're gonna do ratatouille. So remember the goal of meal prep magic. You buy ingredients. By the way, today I spent $17.93 for all my ingredients. Okay? And the goal is to make dishes for the week with 20 bucks. All right? And notice we're doing two completely different things. We're doing a ratatouille. Ratatouille is more of an Italian inspired dish. You can eat that with pasta. You can eat it with bread. You can eat it just the way it is. It's up to you. Ratatouille has eggplant, chopped up eggplant, which is what we're using here. And you're basically cooking it down into like a stew. That's what we're gonna do. And flavoring it as we go. So I used half of the eggplant for the frittata, and then the other half is gonna go in for the ratatouille. Eggplant has a lot of water, so it's gonna break down real nice, and it's gonna be nice and delicious. It also is sweet. It has a natural sweetness to it, and then also it basically carries the flavor that you give it. That's the other cool thing about eggplant, because it's like a sponge. Let's look at it real quick. The eggplant is like a sponge. You see that? It's like a sponge. So it can break down, like there's a lot of water in here. What we can do is we can pull the water out of this by adding salt to this, and then just letting it sit in like a strainer, and all the water will come right out. You can also, and then the flavor will be there, and then you can add whatever aromatics you want to this. See how gorgeous that is? That's eggplant. Aubergine. This is aubergine. That's the other name for it. Okay? Bring your questions, please. All right, so I'm going to start putting things in here. I don't need oil. My pan has enough oil in it. As in, I didn't add any extra oil. It's seasoned. So you don't need to add oil. I'm really working to not use a lot of oil when I cook. You don't need it. You can add water. You can add chicken broth, vegetable broth. You can add fish broth. You can add any kind of broth you want, and that be your quote-unquote oil. All right, so we got this in here. That's going to take the longest to cook, and then we're going to cover it. I'm going to add in my veggies as I go. Next thing I'm going to cut up is my zucchini. We're going to also add in the other half of our onion, and that's going in. Okay? We're going to add in like 2 to 3 pinches. This is 1 pinch, 2 pinches, 3 pinches of salt. All right. The next thing I'm going to cut up is my red onion. Red onions, super rich in vitamin C, more vitamin C than tomatoes, more vitamin C than oranges. This is also a great substitute for people who can't do tomatoes. So if you're someone who gets acid reflux, you can do red peppers instead of tomatoes because the acid content is low. And you can do a red pepper sauce instead of a tomato sauce. The red pepper sauce over pasta tastes just like spaghetti sauce, right? And it looks very similar too. So, some of these things I've learned over the years from working with people who have digestive issues. You always have to have substitutes for them. And red peppers is a wonderful substitute for tomatoes. But in this case, we're adding both the tomatoes and the red peppers together. So that's going in here. This is our ratatouille. So let me say this, there are so many cool places to shop, y'all. You want to diversify the places that you shop. I know that many of us are used to going to the big box grocery stores that's mainstream, like Kroger, Whole Foods, Walmart. But I found these are frozen peas, organic. I found this at Desi's. Desi's is right here in Gwinnett, in Duluth. It is an Indian farmer's market. And this here was like $2 and change. $2 and change for some frozen peas. And honestly, if you can't find fresh peas, which more than likely you're not going to find fresh peas like this, you find the frozen peas because as soon as they pick it off the vine, they flash freeze it, right? And it's organic. So we're going to add this like half.
What's the brand on that? What brand is it?
This is called Lakshmi. It's an Indian brand.
Okay,
Lakshmi.
Okay, thank you.
Lakshmi. Actually, that's the same brand. And I'll add this to my Amazon store, just so you know. So if you're looking for these brands, I'll add it to my Amazon link. Okay? Lakshmi. The other thing that I found was this is Vadalal. This is Palak. Palak is Indian for spinach. Show you what this looks like. Here's one. Y'all see that? There's one. The next thing we're going to add in our asparagus. The other thing I wanted to say is I want to talk a little bit about how much I spent today, for those of you who missed it. So today when I went shopping, again, my goal is under 20 bucks. When I went to the Indian store, I spent $13.11 for everything. Okay? $13.11 for everything. Now, because it's a cultural specialty store, you're not always going to find all the things that you're looking for. Like they did not have asparagus. You don't find a lot of asparagus in Indian cuisine. The other thing that I didn't have was zucchini. You're not going to find a ton of zucchini in Indian cuisine either. So I went to Kroger. To get the other two items. And those items came up to $4 and change. So by the time I add up everything, actually $4.89, I believe, something like that. And so when I add up everything, I spent like a little under 18 bucks, which was kind of cool. I'm going to show you what this looks like. It's real pretty. Y'all see that? So pretty. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here because I'm pretty much, for the most part, done cutting up everything. And then I'm going to cover this. All right. One of the things that I want to say is really consider going into some of these other farmers markets that you're not used to. One, the prices are really good. So that basin that I'm showing you, that whole bag of basin, organic, $3. It's super cheap. And you can use that again and again and again, so it's gonna last. It's not one serving, one time. It's multiple uses, so your dollar's gonna go further. All right. Tomatoes, I was able to find those loose. Those weren't expensive. The green onions, 50 cents. All right. Those frozen items, they were like $2.19, or actually, I think it was $2.99 if I'm not mistaken. But super duper cheap. All right. Super duper cheap. So you're going to also find some other new things too, right? They were very nice in there. It seems like it's a new farmers market that's in the community to serve the different people who live here. Because in the Duluth area where I live, there's Koreans, there's Japanese, Chinese, there's Latinos, and then Indians. There's a lot of Indians, so they needed their own market. When you go in there, it's gorgeous. It has just literally all the things that you would find in your Indian friend's home, the kinds of foods that they cook, which is kind of cool. So give it a try because you're gonna find new things and you're going to save some money because I'm finding that they're not that expensive. So I'm adding in some coconut aminos. So this coconut aminos, this is like your soy sauce or your amino acids, but it's made with coconut sap and salt. So it does have a little bit of a sweeter flavor, but it's really, really nice. I use it as a seasoning. I love it. The other thing I'm going to add in here is my trusted mushroom seasoning. And it's just for umami. It doesn't taste like mushroom at all, but mushroom carries that umami flavor. And then I'm going to just let this do its thing. Okay, so once you kind of drench it, you dredge it in there, you cover it. What it's going to do is, because it's still frozen a little bit, all of the heat from everything around it is going to melt that onion, the ice off of it. I could have used fresh spinach, but then I was trying to stay in budget,
Mhm.
and then I was at a different store, and the different
Okay,
store, because it was an Indian store, they did not have fresh spinach.
got it. Okay.
Yeah. But it's all about what you want to do. So that's a
Hmm.
great question.
Hmm.
I found that like if you get fresh spinach in a container, that's gonna be about $4. If you get a bigger container, it's gonna
Hmm.
be like $5 or $6.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking about all of those things in shopping because I know I have to get a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let's try the frozen spinach today. You
Hmm.
know what I mean? But
Hmm.
we could absolutely have gotten fresh spinach. We might have had to trade off something else because that's
Okay.
what we do when we cook. We're always making trades. Do
Hmm.
I really
Hmm.
need this? Do I have this at home? Because if you have some items at home, you don't have to make that purchase. So I want y'all to
Hmm.
keep that in mind too. When you're cooking, I'm always auditing when I'm outside. Okay, do I have onions at home? Because if I have onions, I don't need, or is the onions in good condition? Because if the onions are in good condition, they're not going bad. Let me go on ahead and use the onions I
Use
have at
those.
home.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
rule when you're cooking, it's called first in, first out, right? First in, first out. FIFO. So you don't want to keep buying things because then things will go bad. You want to use up what you already have and then buy more later. So I actually had an eggplant at home from meal prep. So I didn't buy an eggplant. I could have, but I already had one. So I'm like, that's perfect. That's more than enough
Hmm.
eggplant to use for all of this, right? And so I'm always auditing, always thinking, do you guys do the same thing? Are you guys auditing when you're cooking or shopping?
Hmm.
What do I have? What do I need? Or you just kind of buying and whatever the recipe is calling for.
I try to audit, but I'm not always good at it. Yeah.
Yep, understood. I know. All right, so look, the spinach is coming. It's wilting. It's already defrosting, but it still has a little bit of frozenness in like some parts of the pockets.
Hmm.
But doesn't this look beautiful, guys?
Hmm.
I mean, I just love a vegetable medley. It's so pretty. I'm gonna add in, just to help this a little bit, I'm gonna add in a little bit of water. It's gonna steam. So I just add, this is like maybe a fourth a cup of water. And I'm pouring it along the sides. It's gonna steam. I'm even putting it over that spinach. Like that. I'm spreading this out. And I find that when I'm cooking eggplant needs water. It needs steam. It needs something that's gonna help to make it nice and soft and silky. So I'm gonna cover this because we're almost there. Pull this to the side. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut up a little bit of the cilantro, a little bit of green onions. Nasira, since you came in a little bit late.
Since I'm just now joining, yes.
So this is the ratatouille. You can serve this with pasta. You can serve this with bread, roti, whatever it is that you desire. You can eat it just like this if you want. It's up to you. But there's, like we
So
said,
this has
eggplant.
the squash
Yep, we put
and
the.
the
Yep,
eggplant,
yep,
green onion,
yep,
cilantro.
yep.
I didn't see any cilantro on the list. I don't think
Yeah,
I picked
we
that
just
up.
put it in. You know, we just put that in. Yep. We just cut it up and with the green onion and put it in. Yep. Peas.
And what else is in there? Chickpea?
We not chickpea. We use
Or just regular
asparagus.
green peas?
Green
Oh,
peas are in
asparagus.
there.
That's right.
Yep. And then eggplant. Yep. And tomatoes. Tomatoes and red pepper. So
hmm
just about everything is on that's on the list is in there. So here's what you can do. You can put this here, let this cool. Then if you have some bread, you can put it on the side. If you have some crackers, you could do that too. If you have pasta, you could do that as well. It's up to you, right? So that's one. That's one. And then this is two. You can even add different things to the sides of it to make it feel different. Okay? So one of these could be bread, one of these could be pasta,
Hmm.
right? What else would you add to this? What else would you add to this?
A grain of some kind, like a rice.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay, yep. You could add in some quinoa, some rice.
Hmm.
You could
Hmm.
add in some couscous. Couscous would be really
Mm.
good here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Okay? All up to you. So we got three different dishes, and we can have three different sides with it to make us feel like, okay, I'm having a whole different experience. Because ultimately, when we're eating the same foods for the week, we want to make sure that we are diversifying something on it on the plate so that we feel like we're having a new experience, right? I'm going to show you something. That place, Desi's, that Indian market, there was a place next door. It was like an Indian restaurant. And look at what they gave me. He just gave me a bunch of food. The guy gave me a bunch of food. So this could be on the side too. So we can put this in here. Take a look. Let me show you. I'm going to just put this on top here so you can see. Right? See that?
Mm.
See now. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
So this is one thing that you can do. We said that we would add quinoa to this.
Hmm.
We will also add in some bread if we wanted to. Here's the other one. You can also add in some rice. Okay? Totally up to you. You can add in a salad if you wanted to. Some greens, just so you have a lot of leafy greens. It's completely up to you. You can do cauliflower rice. We've shown you how to make cauliflower rice. All the things. All right? So this is it. This is the frittata. Can y'all see
Hmm.
that?
hmm
Yeah. Mm.
Isn't
Looks
that
good.
beautiful?
Was that with
Hmm.
eggs?
No, this is with this. It's
Oh,
made with
that's the
chick. This is basin or
chickpea flour.
chickpea flour.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
All right. So it shakes up just like eggs. We use 1.5 cup of this plus
Mm-hmm.
2 cups of water. Okay.
Gotcha.
And then what we did was we sauteed up the eggplant, some veggies, and actually this is ready. It's actually ready to go, which is kind of cool. So we gotta let it cool so it can render from the thing. So we can't cut it just yet. So I added all those veggies that you saw, with the exception of spinach. So there's eggplant in here, there's asparagus in here, there's peppers, onions, and then I seasoned this with a little bit of salt, some coconut amino, some mushroom seasoning. We add cilantro in here as well. And then I took one tomato and I cut it just to make it look real pretty. And then we use dill as a
Mm-hmm.
like a nice little garnish. And that's
Mm-hmm.
it. If you're looking for something, you try to stay away from eggs, but you want a high protein, something high protein, this is it. And so, yeah, this has, for a third cup, it has 7 grams of protein. A third cup. So that means a full cup would be 21 grams of protein. Okay? So that's a lot of protein. That's pretty good. But basin is something that I wanted to introduce y'all to. If you're thinking about making quiches, which I love a good quiche. If you're thinking about making a frittata, you don't have to use the just egg. I think it's very expensive, and you don't get a whole lot out of it. I'm gonna actually show y'all in another class how to make just egg yourself. It's easy, 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 easy. So you can also take the basin and you can make like a scrambled egg with it, right? So instead of doing 2 cups of water, it would be less water, and you would probably need to have a nonstick pan, and you can make scrambled eggs, scrambled veggies with it, and it's just as delicious. It's really really nice. Okay. Market that's located in over by Decatur, by the farmers market, the Cap Farmers Market. They're all over the city, like little small mom and pop Indian stores, Korean stores, Chinese stores, African stores. I'm encouraging you guys to go to those places in your respective places, because you're going to find unique ingredients that are not very expensive. This whole bag was $3. $3. It's organic. I'm going to use it multiple times. I can do so many different things with this, right? Because it's just another kind of flour, right? And you can also find some of the things that you're used to finding in those places, but it's not going to be as expensive. The two things that I would say here today is definitely expand if you're able to. Try some of these different markets that are not too far away from you. And then also, if you have to, I wasn't able to get everything from Desi's, because in certain cultures they have those particular things that culture has. So if you go to an Indian market, you're gonna find a lot of eggplants. You're gonna find a lot of um, parsley. You're gonna find a lot of tomatoes. You're gonna find a lot of bitter melon, because that's part of their culture. That's part of their food. But I did not find asparagus. I did not find zucchini. I had to go to Kroger and get those items, right? So getting your mind that shopping is about being exciting. It's supposed to be exciting, I think, and an opportunity to explore new things. So you're not gonna always get every little thing that you want in one place, particularly if you're branching out and doing something a little different with your cuisine. But there are stores now that are in my little repertoire. And I'm like, oh, they weren't in that repertoire anymore. Like this place, I was like, oh shoot, because I thought I had to go to Decatur to get things like this. I'm like, man, it's up here in Duluth. It's like right around the corner. It's amazing. So, just expand yourself, explore. You're not gonna spend a ton of money. I did not spend $20. I did not spend $19. I did not spend $18. I spent a little under $18 for everything. But damn, we got this whole frittata, and then we got those other dishes. This frittata can probably feed about 4 servings, I think. You could probably get 4 servings out of that. So 4 servings plus the three, that's 7 meals. Come on now. That's damn good. So that's it, y'all. That's all I got for today. We did good. We got our frittatas, and then we also got our ratatouille.
And it was within an hour.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah,
And we
this
got a
is
chance to
awesome.
talk, right? Do you see that?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Once again, every Friday morning, you'll get the shopping list so that you can do your thing. And then we'll meet back here on Monday at 11 o'clock to cook together. All right. All right,
Bye-bye.
kisses.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.